Welcome to fourth grade health, and this is for lesson 153. Before we get started, you have a homework quiz, okay? So you had some reading last night, and so we're going to do a homework quiz. So get out a piece of paper, number it 1 to 5, and then I will let you know as we go what type of question it is, okay? Like I normally do, okay? So make sure that on there you also have, we have some words on the board that I don't want you seeing yet, and so I'm going to stand where you can't see them. On your, make sure on your page that you have your name, the date, and put on there that it's a health homework quiz would be very helpful. And so we'll take the quiz, and then afterwards I will give you, I'll check the quiz, so I'll give you the answers. So don't listen to the check if you don't finish the quiz yet, if you need to go back and finish a question. But then we'll go ahead and look at our pages for today. Okay, so number 1 is a short answer, so you just have to know the answer. What is the coloring matter in your skin called? What is the coloring matter in your skin called? Okay. Number 2 is true or false. People with light colored skin have more melanin than people with dark colored skin. True or false, people with light colored skin have more melanin than people with dark colored skin. Okay, 3 is also short answer. What is the layer of skin beneath the epidermis called? What is the layer of skin beneath the epidermis called? Okay. 4 is multiple choice. And so we're going to fill in the blank, okay? Your blank contains your oil glands and sweat glands. Is it A, epidermis, B, dermis, C, pigment, or D, melanin? Your blank contains your oil glands and sweat glands. A, epidermis, B, dermis, C, pigment, or D, melanin. Okay, so you can put A, B, C, or D. And number 5 is true or false. The live cells or root of each hair grow in a little sac called the hair follicle. True or false, the live cells or root of each hair grow in a little sac called the hair follicle. True or false? Okay? All right. Pause it or go back if you need to hear one of those questions again. And I'm going to go ahead and give the answers. Okay, so number 1, the skin coloring is pigment. Okay, pigment. Number 2 is false. They have less melanin. Number 3 is dermis. The second layer of skin is dermis. Number 4 is B, dermis. That's where the sweat glands and oil glands are. And number 5 is true. It is called a hair follicle. All right. Hope you did well with that. I'm going to put this up. All right. So we're looking at pages 67 to 69. So the pages that you read yesterday, some of those pages, is what we're going to be looking at. And we have some additional protection for our body as we've learned about the skin that protects the outer part of our body. We also have hair and nails that protect it. So the nails are hard and tough to protect the tips of your fingers and your toes. If you've ever had, and it really hurts, if you've ever had a nail ripped off, the skin underneath that nail is very, very tender. And so that is not a fun thing to have your nail rip off. And it takes a long time to grow back the way it's supposed to. But if your nails grow normally and they don't break, then they will grow out, and then you can trim them. And when you trim them, does it hurt to trim them? Nope, because these are now dead cells, okay? And so that's why it doesn't hurt to trim your nails. And so then the new cells push the old cells out, so they come from the back and they push them out, and so that's how the nail continues to grow. And one of the things that you can see if you're healthy is if your nails are growing. Your body is working the way it's supposed to. But one thing that they look at is if your nails are not growing properly, you're having some trouble with getting nutrients that you need. Your hair also is dead skin cells, and so it doesn't hurt to get a haircut. But if you were to pull on your hair, does that hurt? You want to try that? Try pulling on your hair. Okay. Yep, it hurts. It hurts. And it hurts worse when you're just pulling like one of them, or as a couple small ones. It hurts worse because it's putting pressure on just the one. But when you pull in a few, it doesn't hurt quite as bad, but when I'm doing it to myself. But if I was holding a baby, they like to pull hair, and if they were to grab onto my hair, I would be in a little bit of pain. Or sometimes brothers or sisters like to pull on your hair, and it's painful. And so you know that down at the root, it's alive. It's alive down there. But what's out here isn't alive. So you could cut it, and it's not gonna hurt anything. So that's how God made, and it protects your head from the sun, from heat, and people that have are bald, they have to wear a hat a lot of the time, or if their hair is really thin, they might have to wear a hat. So that's one of the things that God's given us, and some people, for different reasons, they don't have the hair that growing there. The pigment of your skin, we talked about the coloring matter from the homework quiz, is the pigment, your skin color. So dark colored pigment, melanin, gives the skin a brownish color. So the more melanin that your skin has, the darker you are. Now, none of us are that dark. We all are fairly light skinned. Some are a little bit darker than others, but you're not the darkest like someone from Africa would be. But when God separated people at the Tower of Babel, and he wanted them to go in different places in the world, and they didn't. And so he confounded their languages, he confused their languages, and he said, okay, this group is going to go here, this group is going to go here. And so the people that could communicate, they got together and they moved somewhere else so that they could talk, and so they could live and create a nation. And so there were people that lived close to the equator on the continent of Africa, and because they were near the equator where the sun was shining directly, they would be caught by ultraviolet rays, and so that could harm their bodies. And so the more melanin in their body meant that their body could be protected from those harmful rays of the sun. And so this is the purpose of it. And so those that lived farther away didn't need as much melanin in their skin, and so they were lighter skinned or fair skinned. And there's a few people that actually have no pigment in their skin, and they're albinos. But there's even ancestors of those who were born in Africa that have moved to the North America and other parts of the world, and they don't necessarily need that pigment, but they still have, because it's now in their genes. It's the way that they're born. That's part of their makeup and the inside. So their dark skin is a testimony of God's provision for their forefathers. And really, that's how we should be viewing the people that are different skin than us. We shouldn't be saying that they're different, so we should be scared of them or we should not like them. We should be saying, you know what, God provided for them. God did that for their skin so that they wouldn't be harmed by those ultraviolet rays. And God in his wisdom and in his sovereignty did that for those people. And so that's something that we can share with people and help them understand that just because they have a different color skin doesn't mean that we should look down on them or anything like that. Okay. So your real skin. Now we've talked about our epidermis, the layer on the top, and then the layer underneath is called the dermis, and it contains your connective tissue, blood vessels, nerve endings, hair follicles, oil glands, and sweat glands. Okay, and so connective tissue makes your skin elastic and strong. So there's our dermis, and we're going to be looking at the hair follicle in just a minute. It also attaches your skin to your muscles, because if it wasn't attached to the muscles, it might slip, and then you could pull and your arm skin extend, and then we'd be like Elastigirl from Incredibles. But that's not the case, and as much as some of you might want that, it isn't the case. And so that's what connects your skin to your muscles. And then you've got blood vessels that carry food and oxygen to the new skin cells. When the dermis is cut, your skin bleeds and you feel pain. And so that's something that you will definitely be able to tell. I don't know if you can see this. See if you can. I got a cut on my thumb, and I'm not sure, I don't remember how I got it. But it has been hurting me. And so every time I've been writing, holding a pencil, so when I'm doing my work or holding a pen, it's been pushing on that cut. And so it hurts. And so yesterday I put a Band-Aid over it just so it would protect it from the pen or pencil that I was holding. And so today I don't have a Band-Aid on it. I'm wanting it to get some air so that it will heal, but so when you get a cut like that, it hurts and it's painful. Okay, so when we talk about hair, God gave us different types of hair, right? And so your hair grows on most parts of your body except for the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Okay, so you can check that out later. The live cells or root of each hair grow in the little sac called the hair follicle, okay, as we saw in our homework quiz there. If you've ever gotten goosebumps, which I think all of you have, I have, the little muscles at the root of the hair, if you feel cold or excited or are suddenly frightened, the tiny muscles contract and the hair stands straight up, causing little goosebumps or whatever you call them. The goosebumps is in here. Some people say goose pimples or something like that, but it's the same thing. It's that you might get cold and your arm all of a sudden has these bumps all over it, but it's not like you're sick or anything or there's something wrong with your skin. It's just the goosebumps. And then of course your hair is either you may have curly or straight hair, and it depends on how it's growing in the hair follicle. So if it's round and straight, the hair is going to be straight. If the follicles are flattened and curved, the hair will be curly. And so the extent of that curliness is going to depend on how much it is flat and the curve of the follicle. And so, I have wavy hair, as you see in the picture there, the girl that has the wavy hair. So my hair is just wavy, okay? It's not considered really curly, it's just wavy. I mean, it's curlier than some. And then you've got curly hair, like the boy there, and then even curlier, those are tiny curls on the last boy's head. So everyone's hair is different, and God made you that way. And so God gave us our hair and our skin to protect us, and the nails to help us and all of that. So go ahead and read pages 67 to 69 again. I realize you've read it a couple times, so you should be well, you should be able to go through this pretty fast. And then answer that quick check, those 5 questions on a piece of paper, and then you'll be done with health, okay? Make sure to turn in that homework quiz to your mom or dad so that they can put that in the packet to send back to me. All right, and this should be your last class for the day, so have a good evening.